What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Proud Africans of America. I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're all having a good night. In tonight's video, I'm going to be talking about Africans being the Semites. Yes, West Africans in particular being Semites. Not only did the Semites go up into Europe, but I believe that they also went down into West Africa. Yes, I do believe that. And by no means am I a expert on this. By no means am I a historian on this, but I am a person who likes to research. I am a person who likes to study. And throughout the years, I've found that many of these West African tribes claim to have heritage, connected to the Semites of the Bible. I've heard various stories. I've even heard stories of Africans who were shipped to America who built churches and actually knew how to write in Hebrew. Yeah, they actually knew how to write in Hebrew in their churches. I forget exactly where the church is located, but it's in America, and the church is African owned, and these people have proof that their ancestors could write in Hebrew. Yes, their ancestors wrote in Hebrew, and it's how can I say this? They can translate it. They were able to translate some of those words. Now, I don't know exactly what the words say, but they have been translated. Most of the words have been translated, and these people wrote these letters or these words on the church seats. You know how they have the pews? The actual Hebrew words are on the sides of the pews. So I really believe that there's a definite connection, and for them to try to tell us that we're crazy for thinking that we're connected to it, I think it just further speaks to the fact that we might actually be connected to the Hebrews of the Bible, to the Israelites. And I really do believe that. But I just want to take the time to make one point in regards to a lot of these brothers in the Hebrew Israelite nation, so to speak, who use the term Hebrew, who use the term Israelite as a way to denote their ancestry as Africans. You guys are out of pocket. Yeah, I'm coming to tell you that. You guys are completely out of pocket. Y'all are out of pocket for that, man. And it's wrong. And what are you guys gonna do when the truth comes out that Hebrew Israelites are actually African? What are you gonna do when the truth comes out that tribes in Africa like the Yoruba, like the Igbo, like the Ashanti, damn near all the tribes in West Africa have Hebrew origins, A lot of the elders in these tribes will tell you that they had origins in Egypt. Don't believe me, do the research yourself. The elders will say it themselves. It's in the oral history. They can name their ancestors who came from Egypt. Even in the Yoruba tribe, I'm a part of the Yoruba tradition. And everybody knows that one of the Orishas, what's his name? What's his name? Orunmila. Everybody knows that Orunmila was the one who brought the knowledge of Ifa to Yoruba land. He came from Yoruba land, he left Yoruba land, went to Egypt, and came back. Okay, now I don't know specifically what time that was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the time of the Exodus. Who knows? But that's also in the oral history. And when you do break down when you break down Ifa, when you break down the different principalities in Ifa, they are unmistakably related to the Egyptian quote-unquote gods. And then the quote-unquote Egyptian gods are unmistakably similar to the saints. That's why when Africans were brought to America, particularly Africans of Yoruba descent, when they were brought to any one of the countries or islands in the Americas, what did they immediately do? They immediately syncretized. I don't know if I'm saying that correct, but you guys know what I mean. They syncretized the saints with their traditional spirits, the Orishas. You know why they were even able to do that? Because there was already a relation. There's already a common source. There was already a common root. And a lot of African historians, a lot of African scholars believe that the people of Yoruba origin who were enslaved in the Americas, they believe that they were trying to hide their practice. I believe that too. But what I really believe is that they were really just conjoining the two, because they understood that there was a semblance. They didn't reject. I don't believe that they fully rejected Christianity. I don't believe that they fully rejected Catholicism in the New World. I believe that they embraced it. Here in North America, in the US, Africans here embraced Christianity. You know? Because they understood the real of it. I do think that there needs to be more research in regards to Africans being Israelites, you know? And I do believe that there's a huge possibility that Africans are Israelites. It comes out of the oral history. It is the truth. That is the truth. Okay? And then you can look at the parallels between what happened to the Hebrews in the Bible and what happened to Africans in America. Come on, man. Bondage, captivity, enslavement. But one thing I'm not going to do is tell the European Jews that they're not European. I mean, that they're not Jews. Yes, I believe that the European Jews are Jews. I don't think that they're masquerading as Jews. If they weren't really Jews, then why did Hitler target them? You know, if they didn't have African blood as well, why did Hitler target them? Let's just be honest, man. And those are just genuine questions that I'm asking. And look at what's happening today. Why are they trying to cancel African people who say that they are Jews? Why are they trying to cancel them? Why are they trying to hide that? Because they don't want to be associated with Africans. They don't want to be African because they know what that comes with. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Ever since they got out of the Holocaust, they have chosen to go the route of racism. They have chosen racism as a collective. I'm not saying individuals in the Jewish community, in the European Jewish community, are all racist. Of course, not all of them are. Matter of fact, there's some Jewish rabbis and Jewish scholars who will actually attest to what I am saying, who will actually attest to what the tribes in Africa are saying. Man, even the Congolese say that they have Semitic roots. The Congolese, it was a big thing, like way back in the colonial times. There was like an uprising against colonialism, and there was an uprising against the indoctrination that the Europeans were using against the Congolese with Christianity, right? And the Congolese were totally against it. And when they really looked at what the Europeans were giving to them in regards to the Bible, they said, we already know what this is. They said, we know who Jesus is. And Jesus was Congolese. That's what they said. They said, we know who he is. And he wouldn't want this to happen. So what they do, they revolted. Yeah, man. And that's kind of been a common theme with Africans in regards to our contact with Europeans and colonialism and enslavement. We have always used the Bible. We have always used religion to revolt. We have always used religion to resist. That's a fact. But again, I think the Jews, it could be partial traumatization. You know, they have been traumatized from what has happened, you know, during the Holocaust. And again, we can't tell them that they're not Jews, because they experienced the Holocaust. They are descendants of the Holocaust. And they are descendants of Africans too. They won't want to admit that. Like I said, they jumped on the bandwagon of racism so that they can get benefits. I don't agree with that. And that's something that we need to come against them about. We need to shame them for doing that. We need to shame them from doing what they're doing. That's why we stand behind Kyrie. That's why we stand behind Kanye on certain things. What they're doing with the music industry, what they're doing with, because they own all this shit. And we understand that there are less than positive agendas on TV. There are less than positive agendas in the music. And it's leading our people astray. So yeah, I don't believe that they're ever going to acknowledge that they're African. They're not. Because for them to do that is for them to lose respect. It's for them to lose power. That's how they feel. And it just exposes the truth. It exposes the truth of who they are, and they don't want to be exposed. Because that's part of what happened with Hitler. Let's just be honest, man. I feel like people are shy to talk about these things. I'm not. Because I know what I'm saying isn't wrong. It's not derogatory. And that's frankly bullshit. So, Hitler, I remember a long time ago, I must have been a teenager when I was researching, I was studying Hitler, I was studying the Holocaust, and I remember seeing a photo of Hitler in some sort of room with some other guys, and it was like he was leading a lecture. He had some sort of PowerPoint, and he was showing like, it was like comparisons of European Jews and African tribesmen. I swear, you can find this on Google. I don't know what you would search. Maybe search Hitler, African, something, I don't know. But nonetheless, I found that. Maybe I'll put the photo of it here. But I thought that was interesting. And it kind of made me think back on how when I was young, my mom would drive me to school. And every morning we would go through a Jewish neighborhood. And I would remember how my mom would always look at the Jews and say, them Jews are black. Yeah. She would tell me they are black. And at first I was like, oh, whatever. You just saying that. I don't know. You just saying something outrageous. But I started looking at them for myself and started seeing in the hair. Some of them have hair like me. Some of them have a darker skin tone. You know, they don't look all the way white if you look at some of them. Most of them. I remember seeing the girls walking to school and looking at some of the sisters. And yeah, I say sisters because they look like sisters. I said, that look like a light-skinned sister right there. Hair curly as ever. Hair wavy as ever. So, I really started piecing the puzzle together. I really started connecting the dots to who we really are. And this shit is really coming into fruition. The truth is really coming out. And it's kind of scary, bro. Not even gonna lie.